Hi, welcome back to Lifestyle Live. Thank you so much for joining us. You may know Dixie and Brian from their starring role in Amazon Prime's The Pack. Brian's a local guy right here in Mooresville, Indiana. Before all the national attention with this show, and congratulations, by the way, on the show. Amazing show.
Thanks.
Before all that, life was very different. Before Dixie, before all the show, can you tell us a little bit about life with your 3 dogs and what it was like before all the attention?
Yeah, so before Dixie came about, 2012, I had German short-haired pointer and 2 hound mixes that I kind of rescued. And they weren't as well trained as Dixie, but they were my dogs, they were my kids. And in September of 2012, unfortunately, I had a house fire, and all 3 of them perished in the fire. So pretty devastating loss. It's still hard to deal with to this day. I mean, it's something you never get over, and that's something I like to try to talk to people about that have lost their pet is how do you cope with that? How do you cope with not only losing your, I mean, I lost my home and everything I owned, and not only that, but I lost my 3 dogs. Those were my kids.
Yes.
So just trying to help people and help them get through that time, you know. And
Did you think you would ever get another dog after that, with the overwhelming loss of that? What was the first stages in dealing with that, and then even thinking about getting another dog?
I mean, there was just so much going on at that part of my life, you know. How my house is gone, my dogs are gone, you know. Where am I going to live, you know, all that. But after the couple weeks that went by, I'm like, will I ever get another dog again? You know, that was the question that I had. And unfortunately for me, it took me 2 years to decide to do that. I wish I would have done it sooner now, knowing what I know with Dixie and how much better she makes me feel with anxiety and that type of stuff. And a lot of folks get nervous about, you know, they think they're going to dishonor their dog that they lost by getting another dog so soon. And I think it's the totally opposite. I think you are honoring your dog by getting a dog sooner and just paying respect to your dogs that you have lost and using your dog that you have now to help you cope with the grief of getting over the dogs that you lost. So I wish I would have done it sooner. You know, it's still hard to deal with, but Dixie helps me with that a lot. And I can talk to folks about that and explain to them how to get through it.
How did you hear about Dixie then so you were ready for another dog, and how did she come into your life at that point?
So after the house fire, shortly after the house fire, I was in an accident where I was nearly killed. So I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, you know, I had a string of bad luck, and it was almost like somebody was telling me, hey, you need to do something more positive with your life and do something to help others with. So I came up with this plan in the hospital. I want to get a dog. I want to help people, and I want to help veterans. I want to help kids and veterans.
That was in the hospital?
In the hospital.
So before she was even
thought of, I had this idea to do this, and it was just a matter of deciding what type of dog to get. Well, one of the dogs that I lost in the house fire, she had German Shepherd and Blue Tick Coonhound in her. And I could see in her demeanor how good she was with kids and people, and she was kind of lazy, which is that makes a good therapy dog. But she was kind of outgoing too, where she would go up and just, you know, love on people. So I seen that, and that was the hound dog in her. So I knew I wanted to get a hound of some type. So I did my research. I found a reputable breeder in South Carolina that had a breed that had, you know, these coonhounds.
She's an amazing dog. Real quick, anything you want to promote? What do you guys got going on? We got about 10 seconds.
We got Indy Honor Flight coming up this weekend, Plainfield High School. 7:30 is the welcome home. We got the Mayberry Man we're reshooting. The sequel to that. We're going to LA in November.
Cool.
We're still casting for that too, so if anyone wants to do that, hit us up.
Sounds awesome.
Got a lot going on.
Brian Calvert, Dixie the Praying Dog. George, Randy, touching story. What do you guys think?
Oh, she's fantastic. She did the tease with me at the top of the show, and she's a great dog.
She's quieted down now.
Yes, she is.
Just enjoying the show.